there, this is Dana. In this video I'm going to be talking about how to switch out colors in cross-stitch patterns. This is a question I actually get quite frequently. People like say they buy a pattern and there's like, say, girl's wearing a blue dress and they want her to wear a red dress or something like that, and they often ask me like how do they go about switching out the colors so that they don't look weird, because obviously the designer chose those colors and, you know, probably trialed them with the real threads or had one of these. This is the DMC floss card book. Super cool, and it's got all the new ones in it too, so this is the newest one. I'll put a link to it in the video description below, so you can either get it from DMC or you can get it from a lot of needlework retailers can order it in as well. So this is the newest one. You can see all the new colors. The new 35 colors have been marked with asterisks. So if you're not a designer or you're not really aware of color theory and things like that, it can be intimidating knowing how to switch out colors and have your design, your finished project still look nice. So one thing I would say though is if you're doing a pattern that's got like it's full coverage and it's this like massive pattern, it has like, you know, dozens and dozens of colors, I would be really quite wary about changing out the colors in an, like say one of the design elements, like say a dress or something like that, because quite often those really big full coverage patterns, there's dozens of colors that make up that one object, and a lot of them, like the dress may look blue, but a lot of them might be grays or greens or even pinks and things like that that actually add to all the different tonalities. So I would be kind of careful about switching out colors for something that's got a lot of colors in it. But say if the item has like 4 or 5 colors in it, it's actually a pretty simple process to switch them out. So I would definitely recommend getting one of these floss cards if you are going to be switching out colors regularly. You can get the printed ones as well, but the tones just aren't quite the same in ink as they are in the actual floss, so you might get a little bit of a different effect than what you're anticipating. So for the example for this video, I'm showing up a picture right now of one of my patterns called The Struggle is Real, and you can see that the elephant has a red blanket, and that red blanket is actually 2 colors, and you can see the little color chart thing right there. There's a dark red, and there's a darker red. So what we're going to be doing is pretending we're going to switch it to blue. So the first thing you're going to be wanting to do is you're going to need to look at the tones that are already in it. If it's a dark red and then a slightly darker red, you're going to be wanting to pick 2 colors, no matter which color you choose, that are close together, like those 2 tones, actually the 350 and the 349. You can see that they're exactly right next to each other on the color chart, so they're actually quite close tones. There's just a little subtle difference between the two, like just the 349 just provides a little bit of shading in the pattern. So when you're choosing your colors, and you can do this from the color chart, you can do it from your stash, or you can do this in the needle workshop and actually kind of play around and see what you might like. But you're going to be wanting to choose 2 tones that are close to each other. Like you're not going to want to say if you're doing purple, you're not going to choose like a really light purple and then a super dark purple, because the way the pattern's designed, they're actually quite close in tone. Like it's just providing a little shading in that particular pattern. So if you went too extreme between each one, it's going to look really strange. It's going to look, yeah, the pattern's just not going to look right. So I would recommend choosing 2 tones that are quite close to each other. The same thing, like say if there's 4 tones and there's a really light one, there's kind of a medium one, there's a dark one, and then there's a super dark one. You're going to want to make sure that those tones are evenly balanced when you're choosing your new colors. So the one advantage of using the color card, other than the fact that all the colors are there and really easy for you to see, and you don't have to stand in a shop or, you know, dig through your stash to see what might work, is these are actually all grouped in color families. I'm just going to open this up a bit. So you can see all these numbers at the top. The numbers don't really mean anything in specific, but each one is actually a color family. So you can see here, like these are sort of more orange reds, these are more pinky reds, these are more purpley reds. So you can see they're all sort of grouped, like these are sort of more minty greens, these are getting a little bit more into emerald greens, these are getting into more like lemon and lime greens, and these are getting a little bit more into almost some mustard and olive colors. So you can see that each bar basically is a color family, so they actually all go together. So if you can, I would recommend choosing your new colors from a color family. You can mix and match, like not all patterns, like I'm sure a lot of my patterns have different tones from different color families, but as long as, like, say you're not choosing, say, a light olive green or sort of a lime olive green and then a darker emerald green, like that's just gonna look, sorry, light olive green here and like say a darker emerald green, like that's just gonna look weird if the colors are supposed to be kind of close together, like they're just the tones in them, like this one's got more yellow in it and this one's got more blue in it. It's just going to look really odd next to each other. So just take that in mind. Quite often you can do it by eye, especially if you're experienced stitcher or you've got, say, art experience or you love color theory like I do. You can usually kind of look at the colors too and see if they're kind of going to go together. So that's basically my suggestions. So the main tips are keep your tones as similar as possible. Like even if you're going, say, from a light pink, then try and find a light blue that might match. Or, you know, you can kind of play a little bit. You can make the tones a little bit deeper, richer, whatever, but try and find the same balance. So like, say, light, medium, dark, really dark. Make sure you're getting a light, medium, dark, really dark in your new colors that you're choosing. And also try and be aware of the fact that color families do exist, and you know, if you're mixing them up too much, it's gonna look a little funky. So that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. You can sign up to the Peacock Lounge and get access to all my free patterns. I've got a whole bunch of cross-stitch and embroidery patterns on my site, so you sign up with a little link that's popping up on your right-hand side now, and you'll get access to all of those. And other than that, I hope you have a great day. Bye for now.